right. Good afternoon, everybody. Hopefully, everybody's having a great day. I'm joined
Yo,
with Justin and Webby again here for another
What's up?
podcast. We're going to be talking about Week 13 recaps and a bunch of other great topics we have. But we're definitely going to start off with the first topic. So, Jimmy G goes down for the season. Are the 49ers okay? Or is this something to be concerned about going into the postseason? Webby, if you want to go ahead and start, and we'll go away.
Sure. Yeah, I think to me it looks like the 49ers will be good. And it's for one reason. It's their defense. As you saw in that last game against Miami, only allowing them to score what they scored and just absolutely dismantling that Miami red hot offense. They're gonna be kept in every game, and I think it's gonna allow them to go deep into the playoffs, even with that quarterback position being a question mark and the talent that they have on offense. They are number one in points allowed on defense and also number one in yards allowed. And they've only allowed 7 points in the second half scored, I believe, their last six or so games. So I think like that's going to give them a chance to be in every game. And with that Mike Shanahan or Kyle Shanahan offense, it's just I think they'll be good. Go ahead, Justin.
your take is wrong.
Why is that?
Let me tell you why. First of
Let's
all,
hear it.
who has taken the 49ers year over year to the playoffs deep or to the Super Bowl? Who's done it?
Their coach.
You don't you dare disrespect Jimmy G like that. Don't you dare respect him.
Okay. Yeah.
Listen, Jimmy G, he's a really big piece for the 49ers, and he's done it year over year. This is his last chance to, go out and get a Super Bowl. He went out and came out of retirement pretty much just to go out and make another run because Trey Lance got injured, game one. So he was there. It's a big hit to their morale as a team as a whole. They respected Jimmy G. They knew they were a good team. They know they can make this playoff push to the Super Bowl. But, him going down is a huge bust for them because now they got to rely on the third string. So this is where I was saying this is a bunch of question marks for their team as a whole and as a group because our team's going to be going against them with the plan on their defense to just watch out for the screenplays, watch out for the quick throws. Let's play them close up and not give this quarterback any chance to get the ball out. So there's a lot of question marks in the air about this third string quarterback, and that's why I believe that hopefully they'll go out and get Matt Ryan. And
I mean,
that's
to
my
your point,
argument
yeah.
for Webby.
To your point, I do agree in some aspects because Jimmy G has a really good record for the 49ers while he's there. And the 49ers without him, I think they're like 9 and something, 9 and 20 or something like that. It's not a great record without Jimmy G. So I will agree with your point and say that it is a concern. However, I would be concerned if they didn't have the talent on offense that they do. For instance, they have probably arguably one of the better blocking and catching tight ends in the league with George Kittle. Debo Samuel, which is probably one of the best playmakers aside from maybe Tyreek Hill, and his
Not
ability
this
to
year.
have, well, right. Second best, I guess, to Tyreek Hill. All right. So, but anyways, I mean, he's still a great playmaker. He can make anything happen when he gets the ball in his hands. And same with like Christian McCaffrey, like with the running game that they have and the scheme that they run, that's where I think you can sit any quarterback in this league on the 49ers offense and still have good success because no matter what, I mean, they're going to have those other skill position players on the team. So unless something happens with injury, of course, but that's why I think that they'll be okay. And I will say that Jimmy G being gone is definitely a huge impact. Number one in leadership and also his ability to make good decisions late in games. So, but I do definitely think it won't hurt them that much to where their playoff chances and odds are going to be that bad.
I still disagree with you, Webby, on that one, man. I just can't get over it, man. It's just a big question mark right above their team. You just don't know what's gonna happen with their team after a big hit like that. And
Yeah.
I give it to him. He played really well against the Dolphins there, but mostly their defense. Like the stars around him and their defense did something. Big question mark over that quarterback, man.
Yeah, I mean, it is gonna be interesting. We'll have to see what they do next week, and if they make a move at a quarterback. I mean, I think that's really what's gonna determine if they are confident in this guy or not, and that's really gonna show if because, like, for instance, if you get Matt Ryan, right, he hasn't played in their offense at all this year. He hasn't practiced with them,
Yeah.
so learning the playbook is gonna be hard for him.
No,
So
I still disagree with you. It's Matt Ryan. I think he's a veteran. He knows most plays in this league.
yeah,
And I think that he would be able to work and be good off the get-go with a lot of these playbooks. Sure, the
yeah,
49ers are different, but he's a veteran. And I think he's been in the league way too long for him not to, be good off the rip.
I guess we'll see. Sam, you got anything to say?
Yeah, so actually on that, guys, and this is like the big thing. Panthers cut Baker Mayfield. Did the 49ers go for it to get him, or do
No.
you think they just
No,
completely
I agree
One
with
reason
you there,
why.
Webby. Good.
One reason
good
why.
stuff. At least you're right
Christian
sometimes.
McCaffrey is going to
What
be
is-
in their ear. Like, no, do not get this guy. Please, right? For the love of God, do not get this guy.
But I had to bring that up because obviously this past week they just cut Baker Mayfield, so
Yeah.
he will be on the waiver wire. Don't know if a team might be looking forward to get him. Maybe the Rams, maybe.
I think
because
Rams,
Matt
yeah, good
Stafford,
chance.
and they have a rookie in. It's better to have somebody that has some kind of experience rather than just a rookie, because they still potentially could have a chance. Maybe, I don't know.
No, their chances
probably
are pretty
gone
much
for them.
over. Yeah, they're when you look at their record, they're 3-9. I don't think a move here actually helps them. I think
No, they're out of the
they
playoffs.
shouldn't make that play at all. So I think they
Yeah.
should have their rookie take over and actually learn the playbook and get more steps in the field so they can see what their future is going to look like.
I think if you're
So-
Baker Mayfield, you don't want to be on a team because, I mean, it's like Christmas is almost up. You're making $18 million guaranteed. Why get on a team and have to go practice? Like, why not just enjoy your time off? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think if I was him, I would be like, yeah, don't sign me, please. Like, I just want to rest. I want to.
Yeah, so I don't know if any team actually picks up Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Maybe a team does, maybe they don't, but I think it would be a team that's almost close to making the playoffs. So, 8th or 9th seed in each side. But when you look at those teams, you got the Patriots, we got the Commanders, and then you got the Chargers and Lions. And I don't think they need a quarterback.
Nah.
Maybe you can argue the Patriots, but is Bill Belichick going to make that push for him? Absolutely not. Maybe Matt
No.
Ryan. I could see him making a push for Matt Ryan, but we all know how Bill Belichick feels about old QBs, so he's not going to do that shit either.
True.
Yeah, so when you look at those teams, there's nobody who's going to take him. So I think he goes as a free agent, and we wait and see
Yeah.
what happens in the next couple of games and see if anybody gets injured at that quarterback position.
I think
Yeah.
a team would take him if they're interested in signing him next year. So, like, for instance, the Rams, I think that they would take him just in case if, like, they, for instance, don't want Matthew Stafford next year, or say Matthew Stafford is contemplating retirement, and they're like, hey, well, we want to fill that spot because we feel like next year we can make a run. Maybe they try him out to see if they like him and then extend him. Like, that's the only reason I would see like a team like the Rams take him. But other than that, I don't think that any other team would be interested.
Yeah. Well, and back to the main question. This was my take on it. I'm actually have to be with Justin here. With Trey Lance going down week 2, it was a big blow to the 49ers. Everybody's like, what's going to happen? Jimmy G wasn't even there. They're
Thank
like,
you for
"What's gonna
seeing
happen?"
that.
So
Thank
what
you for
ended up
seeing it, Sammy.
happening? They hire back on Jimmy G, giving him a contract like pretty much game to game, paying him as the games go on, and steps into your and just steps in, and you're like, hold up, 49ers are actually looking good. And then all of a sudden the 49ers with this injury, and after what just happened, it's such a low blow. Like, yes, like you guys ended up pulling up the win, but my take is, yes, this is going to be very concerning for the 49ers. And I know a lot of those 49ers fans out there are probably saying the same thing. We just have no luck. This is
Yeah.
both of our main quarterbacks are now gone, and now we have to put in a rookie. It's gonna be tough, especially for the games ahead, and especially now. Now I don't even see them making it to the championship game. I don't. I really don't.
Yeah,
I
it's just a
just
tough
don't.
question. It's just a tough, question that everyone's gonna ask them is that quarterback reliable? That's the question right there. Is the quarterback reliable? Can he prove himself to be,
Yeah.
one of the greats? Because we saw
Yeah.
Tom Brady come in, replacing, I don't remember that quarterback's name. Sorry about that one, but he replaced him, and they ended up going on that huge run, and then they kept Tom Brady moving forward.
Yeah.
Um, so is it going to be like that? I don't know. It's still up in the air. We saw with the Eagles going against the Patriots, we saw Nick Foles take over from Carson Wentz injury and them actually being successful with that and them winning the Super Bowl. But then again, Nick Foles has also been in the league longer. So
Yeah.
when you look at the instances where they can win, it's very slim to none when it comes to their quarterback position. Now, he can still very well prove himself, but we have to see more games for me to take their side.
Yeah.
And I'm with Justin on that. One game for me isn't going to be enough to say this quarterback is going to be fine with this offense and that the offense is going to work great with him, because if it could have just been some luck of the chance, and he got really lucky. But like I said, when playoffs come, quarterbacks there's so many eyes on them. The pressure's on them. They know one loss, they're out. So, it puts a lot of pressure on that quarterback. And if they're not used to having that pressure, they just fold. And I've seen a lot of quarterbacks just fold, looking like the greatest of all times coming in, like, holy shit, like, this kid's amazing. And all of a sudden, playoffs hit. Dak Prescott, for instance, what happens? Folds under pressure every time. So it's happened time and time again. Like I said, I mean, unless I start seeing more games where the 49ers are still coming out with these wins and maybe their defense can step it up even more than they already have, that's the only way I can put this team and this, and to make it even into the championship at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I agree with you guys. I think that it's definitely a huge impact for sure. I mean, you'd be lying to yourself if you said that it's not, because it is a huge question mark. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see what this guy does. I mean, does he take the advantage of the opportunity and shine really well in the spotlight, or is he going to fold and just kind of wither out like any other quarterback in that spot? So we'll have
Right.
to just wait and see.
All their team is all they can do right now is hope and pray.
I think it's definitely going to come down to coaching for sure. Coaching is going to be what determines his fate, really, I think.
Yep. But on to the next topic, guys. So the takeaway from Cincinnati and Kansas City game: are the Bengals a for real playoff contender right now? And should the teams be afraid to play them? Or do you think that the Bengals, it was just just a hype of this Chiefs and Bengals game, and they just performed better against the Chiefs? Or do you think this is a real threat again to the AFC? We'll go ahead and start with Webby and then go back to Justin.
Actually, I want Justin to go and start this one.
All right. Listen, this is going to be the real take, okay? Listen to this. The Bengals have beat the Chiefs how many times in a row? 3 times in a row. One, to get to the Super Bowl, you beat Patrick Mahomes. Now you're going to beat him on this push that they had, on that streak. I just believe the Bengals are a playoff contender, and I always will believe that. As long as they have Joe Burrow and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, they're going to be a threat, and they might actually get Mixon back. And we'll have to look and see how that's, playing out, because if they get Mixon back, their team is disgusting, and they are a competitive, a very competitive team, and they're going to be great moving forward. And they're not in a tough spot either. They're going to have some hard games coming through, but they're not in a tough spot, and I believe they are a playoff team. Tell me I'm wrong. Go ahead. I see it all written all over your face. Let's hear
No,
it.
I was actually going to agree, and I was going to say that, yeah, absolutely. I would be afraid to play them in the playoffs right now, especially since Joe Burrow arguably looks like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. I mean, their efficiency on third down, I think he's only been sacked 5 times in the last 3 or 4 weeks or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it's pretty impressive if you look at what he's been able to do in these spots, and especially to beat the team like a Chiefs, like especially 3 times in a row, like that's not a fluke. That's that's a real thing. So, but the one thing I will say is Joe Burrow and Josh Allen have not played each other one time.
Oh, don't bring your
So
Bills into this one.
I'm going to,
Don't bring your Bills into this
because
one.
it's a real
Oh
question
no.
mark. They
Here
play
we
each
go.
other late in the season, week 17. They play each other. So that's the one thing that I'm going to circle, and that's the game I'm going to circle to see if like the Bengals are really going to be a threat. Because if they don't perform well, and the Bills, or vice versa, I mean, that's really what's going to determine who is the real threat in the AFC, to me.
I think they just proved it. I think they just proved it. They literally just beat the Chiefs, the number one in the AFC, and then with that loss, it drops them to number 2.
Right.
So, I know you're on your higher horse because the Bills are number 1, but you got to remember who did you the favor, and that was the Cincinnati
Okay.
Bengals.
Okay.
So if you're
I
gonna
got
treat
some I
them,
got
if you're
some I
gonna
got some
treat
points
them
for you
like a
though.
little stair step,
No,
that's
no,
not
I
gonna
gotta.
work, bro, because they're a team and you guys
I mean,
still got some work to do as well.
okay, but I got some stuff to point out to you about the Buffalo Bills here. All right, and this is not me being a fan. This is some real statistics here. All right, so the Bills are in one of the best divisions in the NFL. They've played the least home games of any team out of the NFL, which you got to think about that. Home field advantage is a real thing. They've lost 3 games by a total of 8 points. All 3 of those games they've lost by a total of 8 points. They beat every AFC division leader in the NFL and the AFC. They beat every single one. They beat the Chiefs. They beat the Titans. They beat the Ravens. They have the highest point differential in the AFC, meaning they score more points than they allow. And they've played the toughest schedule of all AFC playoff teams. And they are the number 1 seed right now.
But if we're looking at this from a history perspective, what have they done historically? Nothing in the
That's
playoffs.
the
So
only
I
point
don't
that
have
anybody
I don't
ever
have
has
as
against
much
them.
faith in the Bills as I do the Chiefs. And the Chiefs just lost to the Bengals. So I have a lot of faith in the Bengals that they're going to make a
Yeah.
playoff mark and they might actually, make it back to the Super Bowl. There's a big chance that they make it back to the Super Bowl. And we look at the Chiefs and what do they have?
Mhm.
They have Patrick Mahomes, number 1, and then they have Travis Kelsey, but who else is on their team that's really going to make an impact? And that's what matters moving forward. The
Right.
Bengals, they showed that they can defend as well. So,
Yeah.
Bengals are a threat and they're a playoff contender.
Right.
All right. Well, that's enough of that, guys. We're gonna go to this next topic. I know you guys want to keep going on about it, but so for the next topic, we got two in the Dolphins laid an egg against those 49ers. Are you concerned about the Dolphins going forward with how they played against the number 1 defense? Or are you just saying, oh, it's might have just been a fluke. It might have just been the Dolphins were just had a couple mishaps and it happens. So Justin,
Can I just
you can
start
go
this
ahead
off
and
real quick?
Justin, you can go ahead and start that
I
off.
want to
Go ahead.
apologize to the stream. Not so much Webby. I want to apologize to the stream. I said that the Dolphins were going to beat the 49ers. And boy, was I wrong. Wow, that defense showed up. Wow, the Dolphins, what are they going to do moving forward? They just lost to a third-string quarterback, pretty much,
Yep.
and a tough defense. So are they going to be able to do anything against tough defenses moving forward, or are they just going to fold over and die? So I don't know. And by die, I mean, lose round 1 in the playoffs.
Right. Well, I just want to say that was probably one of the worst quarterback play I've seen from Tua. I mean, this year. I mean, if you watch the game and watch the way he was throwing, it was like every ball either sailed or just slapped the dirt. Like, I just don't think you can win like that as a quarterback. And I just feel like he was under pressure a lot. And that's a real concern because if you're under pressure and you're kind of throwing the ball like that, that's not going to really do you well when you go against a tough team in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm
He
really
was
concerned.
playing scared. It looked like he
Yeah,
was just he looked like he didn't want to get hit. He was scared to get hit.
exactly.
He was letting the football, out of his hands very quickly. And anytime he scrambled, he didn't even make it to the sideline before throwing it out. So
Mhm.
Tua's got a lot of question marks as well, but that offensive line just needs work, man.
Well, they were missing their
Get
starting
that
left
guy some
tackle
help.
and right
Otherwise, that
tackle. So
team is going to lose moving forward. And man,
yeah,
I had a lot of faith in the Dolphins that they're going to beat the 49ers. Just because how the 49ers, like to lose big games. So
yeah,
it's a tough take. I thought I made the right call going for the Dolphins, but it sucks to be let down in a big, big way.
yeah.
18-33, that's a tough loss when you look at, how good each team was. And it
Yeah.
looks really good on the 49ers moving forward, and that's probably why they won't pick up any quarterback, but I believe they should, because quarterback's a big question mark.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Tua was just off his game the entire time, and I feel like it is partly because he was so focused on not getting sacked or not getting hit. Because Tua's game isn't his arm strength; it isn't his ability to move outside the pocket and hurdle people. It's his timing and rhythm, and that was thrown off a lot. And that's a huge concern because if they go against another good defense, how are they going to play? You know what I mean? It's like that's a huge question mark. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be. I just want to see how he does and how he bounces back against the Chargers, and that to me will determine my
That's
take on
another
them.
tough team as well, so
Yep.
how are they going to play?
Yep.
So with those two teams moving forward is tough. A lot of question marks. You have no idea because both of those teams were supposedly making the Super Bowl,
Right.
and going against each other. That was a Super Bowl pick for a lot of people, the
Yep.
Dolphins and the 49ers. So we'll have to see because that loss really, really hurt them. They could fare well, like just fall off the playoff picture, and just, the Patriots take over. So they could still end up losing the playoffs.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible, especially with the
and
Jets.
They might be two games away from missing the playoffs, but they can still do it. There's plenty of games left.
Plenty of games for sure.
And I just have to say this. I'm sorry. I just have to say this. Remember when last week when we were talking about the MVP picks, and you guys remember when I said Jalen Hurts, and you guys were like, "Oh, I'd pick Tua. Oh, I picked Mahomes." What happened to them? What happened? Dolphins end up losing.
Hold on. Hold on.
Tua doesn't put as many points.
I did not.
No, you went with Jefferson. You went with Jefferson.
Hold on,
Okay.
Sammy. Let me get this
Oh.
off my chest before you start lying more, okay? I did not pick Tua
No.
as my guy.
No, but
for
you
MVP.
mentioned him. You
You're
were like,
insane.
okay, so you're picking Jalen Hurts over Tua, who actually has been outperforming Jalen Hurts, and Patrick
what are you
Mahomes
talking
out of
about?
everyone. Patrick Mahomes, and I was like,
Where's this coming?
okay.
Where's this coming? Where's this
Okay.
coming? I know you were talking a lot of trash last week about how the Eagles are so good, Jalen Hurts is so good, and he's my MVP. No, listen, bro. The Eagles
did they win? Did they win or did they lose this past
haven't
week?
proved
Did they win or did
shit.
they lose this past week?
Until they make it to the playoffs?
I can't remember.
They're not they're not proving anything until they're there, and I see that game. They're not proving anything, so that's out of my mind.
Well, especially
And
when they
Jalen
just
Hurts,
ran over the
I'll
Titans.
agree with you now. I'll agree with you now. He is in the picture.
Oh,
MVP.
he's all of a sudden in the picture now. All of a sudden, he's in the
He's
picture.
2 or 3 though.
2 or
Yeah.
3?
Yeah, I would
Patrick
agree.
Mahomes, I believe, is still number 1.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, but yeah, you put Patrick Mahomes over him, but he can't end up pulling out the win with Cincinnati Bengals. That Cincinnati's been performing bad lately. So all of a sudden they start getting Jamar Chase back, and we're a good team
No,
again.
I'm saying
We're a good team.
I'm
I can
saying that
throw
they-
again.
I'm saying that they reclaim the AFC, and then he gets the MVP.
But like I said,
Because then it's
remember
unanimous.
when I also
Everyone's gonna
talked
get
about remember when I
Patrick
talked
Mahomes
about
as
his
MVP.
stats? I padded his stats the last time also when we talked about this. How many interceptions did I say Jalen Hurts has had in total? How many? I think I said 3. Only 3 interceptions. And yet again, this guy gets another 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. You know what that means, Justin? I'm going to tell you this right now. Having that ball control, not giving it to the opposing team, not having those turnovers, they will affect the entire chemistry of the football game. Like that literally, you're pretty much not even giving the opportunity for the other team to like come back and make a comeback. They're like, no. Like, I'm going to make sure I secure this ball. I'm going to make sure I'm throw it down the field, throw it to A.J. Brown,
Hold on.
and let him just do his thing and catch all these balls.
Hold on. Sammy, timeout. Bro, why are you on the Eagles wave right now? For one. And number 2, did you just forget? Did you just forget all of a sudden to say, oh, they're actually versing people that are good. Let's just forget that, they have the easiest schedule in the league.
Yeah, Sammy, do you think that the Titans are a good team? Just answer that question.
The
It's
Titans?
Derrick Henry or bust.
No.
It's Derrick
Titans
Henry
are
or bust,
Okay.
and look what he did last
Okay.
week. So,
But Derrick
man.
Henry hasn't been a bust. He's been running over people. What happened this past game?
He didn't do
hold
much
on.
of
I gotta
that.
correct you there. He has not been doing that. If you look at his stats from the past 3 games, he is like averaging
Yeah,
3
it's
yards a
bad.
carry.
Past
It's
3
terrible.
games though.
All they
but
have to
he's
do-
been
all
been
these
doing
teams-
hot before that.
Time out, Sammy. All these teams do is just go after Derrick Henry because that's the entire team. It's the same thing, the strategy against the Browns. You go against Nick Chubb and you stop that mother from running. You stop him from running, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
That's the goal when you look at this Browns and the Titans as a team, you stop them by their running game, and that's how you do that.
All right, I think we're getting way off topic here. We gotta get back on topic.
I didn't want to get a topic, so I just wanted to say that. That's it.
Sammy had
All right,
to bring it
so
up.
I just had it.
I'm gonna shut that shit right down, dude.
All right.
You bring it up,
So-
I'll shut it right down.
So for
with
the next
facts.
topic, guys, do you think Tom Brady will be on the Bucks this next year, or do you think he is going to be going somewhere else or possibly retiring? Webby, we'll start with you, and then I know Justin's definitely gonna have a couple things to say about it, but we'll start with you.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about it, but the one thing I will say, he's definitely not retiring. The man is not leaving football, and he's probably not leaving football for a while. I mean, I don't even know if he's gonna. He might even play till he's 50. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like he's slowing down. Like, he's still looking good. He's looking better than half the quarterbacks in the league. So I don't know where he's going, but I think he's definitely going to leave. Just like the body language on the sideline, his shaking his head as he's like coming off the sideline. I don't know. He just doesn't seem to gel well with the coaching staff. I think he loves the team. He loves everybody there, and that's the main reason why he came back, is to give them a chance to win, to go to a Super Bowl. But I don't know. I just feel like he's going to leave, and I just don't know where he's going to go. Maybe to I don't know. I don't know where he's going to go, but I know he's going to leave. That's all I know.
I mean, I'm partly agreeing with you here. Like, there is a chance, a very good chance that he leaves the Bucks because of the coaching, just how horrible it's been, this season so far. You can see how frustrated he is.
Yeah.
You could tell on that 4th down play, it's mirrored last week's against the Browns. Literally the same exact thing. You give it to your punter, and then, you're about like 15 yards away. Tom Brady comes out and says that it was the good call. But for sure, if we would have lost that game, he would have said, I don't know what the coach was thinking about that punt. Because you saw how he was looking. He looked like he was yelling at the coach, why are we not going for this?
Yeah.
He looked
Definitely.
desperate on that bench. So, him not being in agreement with Todd Bowles is a big thing as well. So, He could possibly leave this year, or at the end of this year. The only way I see that Tom Brady stays for another year is if we win the Super Bowl this year. It's going to be very tough, and it's a very bold prediction, but
Yeah.
I believe, we still have a chance to win the Super Bowl. You can't comp Tom Brady out of this. But yeah, that's what I got to say.
I think it's more than that. I think, like I said, I think it's going to be if Tom Brady ends up winning the Super Bowl,
Shut up, Dominic.
I believe he'll retire. I believe he'll retire. If Tom Brady at least makes it deep in the playoffs, I think that he'll stay in Tampa. But I think he still might want to request, possibly a different head coach. And then the last one is if they lose the first playoff game, that he's going somewhere else. Like, 100%, he's going to be done with it. I mean, it sucks. As a Tampa fan, we'd really hate to lose him, but, he's got to look at it like the facts. And the facts are, coaching staff is really getting on him hard about everything, even though they have the ability, even though they have the ability to, call these timeouts and call these certain plays. But
here, time out real quick. Can I comment on Dominic's take real quick? He said Brady to the Niners.
Yeah, we talked about that.
About this, Dominic. He has a chance to go to the Niners, but will the Niners make the move?
Right, that's what I was going to say.
They just got Lance, and then he gets injured the first game, so he has a lot of time for them to rehabilitate him. So do they make that play for a veteran Tom Brady that's just going to retire soon? I don't think they make that move, Dom. I don't think that's very smart for the 49ers just because of their organization and what they've done in the past. They don't really necessarily like old quarterbacks.
Yeah, I agree with that. Webby, did you have anything else on this take? Or
yeah, just thinking about where he might go, it's like it's hard because you look at any division and it's like, damn, I don't know, because he obviously wants to stay in a warm area, but it's like, where would he go? Like, I wouldn't go to the AFC because you got all. I wouldn't go to the AFC.
No, not in the Rams.
You're not looking at anywhere besides the BUCS.
Yeah, it's just like
that's just the facts. You know, like everywhere else is going to be cold. So,
like Miami, but then you're going to the division with Josh Allen.
I think he just retires if he doesn't win a Super Bowl. I think he just retires.
I don't know. I just don't think he goes through all of that trouble with his.
He's got that big check waiting for him though to broadcast.
Yeah, but he loves football.
He does love football, and we know that. We know that because otherwise he would not came back.
It doesn't make sense for him. He's not going to do it. He can retire for a year, do announcing for 1 year, and then go back in.
Yeah, I don't see that. I feel like once he retires, he's out. He's done. He won't come back, like officially. Yeah. Once he's done, he's done. So
yeah, I know Dominic. That check ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, he's already knows that he's got a career waiting for him. It's just you could tell that he just loves the game so much, and he just wants to win. He just wants to get to that championship again. I think it's like a high feeling for him. He just loves being in the spotlight, on the field, playing in that stressful situation. I just feel like that's like his life. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. But anyways, going on to the next topic. We're on schedule, so we don't have to rush anything. Which game surprised you guys the most from this weekend slate? We'll start with whoever wants to start, and we'll go around.
Let me go by just saying this. How about the BUCS? How about classic Tom Brady? How about that for your ass right there, boy? Look at Tom Brady doing it again, taking off his hat and saying, "I've been doing this for years."
We're not going to talk about the first 55 minutes of the game.
Wait. 59 and 53 seconds of the game.
It doesn't matter how it starts. It doesn't matter how the middle happens. It doesn't matter about the third quarter, second quarter, first quarter. All it matters is that at the end of the day, we get the nice big W next to our record. So eat those words, man. That's the game that surprised me the most out of all of the games is the BUCS, man. How do they come back from that? Tom Brady, man. Tom Brady and the BUCS. Look at that. Feels great.
I was
Yeah.
surprised that Kansas City lost. Like, I thought that they were honestly going to just dominate the Bengals, and that's the one that I was most surprised about. Like, I looked at
Mhm.
that game and I was like, there's no way that Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid loses to the Bengals 3 times in a row. I was super surprised by that. I mean, there was a lot of things that made that game turn out the way it did, like Travis Kelsey fumbling, some of the things that happened early on in the game. I don't know. It was really surprising to me to see that they got the L that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually had the same pick for me. For me, it was the Bengals coming out on top of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
That was a really great win for the Bengals. Nobody, especially how they have been playing, even when Jamar returned. The past game didn't look like the best or anything, and they didn't look like he was back to where he was last year. But this past time, my goodness, he was, he got that ball and he was catching some nice catches out there. He was making some good plays, and so was his teammates too. Everybody was doing their job on the Bengals, and they got the job done at the end of the day. They ended up defeating the Chiefs, and that moved that standings all over the place. Made Bills come to the number 1 seed, and then
Let's
dropped
go.
Kansas to number 2. So that's
How about
really big.
How about the Sunday game between Washington and Giants, man? Like, how does that
Yeah.
come out with a tie?
Yeah, that was.
How
oof.
does that look for the Reds? Sorry, not them, the Commanders. How does that look for the Commanders moving forward, man? Like,
I don't think
are
it
they gonna miss
affects
the
them.
playoffs?
I don't know. I don't think it affects them really because it actually helps
It
them more than
hurt.
it hurts
It
them.
it
To me.
hurts. It hurts both teams, in my opinion. That tie really just put they just clipped their wings almost. Like I said, for
Especially
me,
when there was a
it just
chance
clipped
to
their
win.
wings. Like the Commanders
Especially
were looking
there was a
hot.
chance for both teams to win that game. Both teams had a really good chance to win that game. It's just
Right.
they didn't get it done.
Well, the reason I think it doesn't hurt them at all because if you look, it doesn't count as a loss. So,
Yeah.
like for instance, like going against Seattle, like Washington against Seattle, like if Seattle loses and they win, like
But
they're on top of them now.
did
But
the
if they had the
Giants
L, you know what I
have the
mean?
Giants already beaten the Commanders?
Well, the Giants are actually 0-2 in their division, and Washington's 1-2. So even if well, actually, how does that work? Oh yeah, because Washington has one more loss than they do.
Okay.
So yeah,
So
So
right, because
they do
Commanders
verse each
still
other
have
one more time. They do
Commanders
verse
still
each
have a
other one more
bye.
time, and I believe
Commanders still have a bye. That's why.
their playoffs are debating on this next couple games.
yeah.
I
So
think the
if
biggest game is when they verse again. When they verse again, that's going to be the playoff push right there. Whoever wins that game is going to be in the playoffs.
so the Giants go against the Eagles now. So if the Giants lose, now Washington is in the playoffs. The Giants are out. If Seattle loses too. Well, actually, if Seattle wins too. Sorry. So that's why honestly it helps the Commanders more than anything because now that they don't have that L, like they're basically have the tiebreaker now.
I don't know if
Yeah.
they have the tiebreaker.
Well, because the
They don't
because
have
the
the.
yeah
They
they
don't
do
have
because
tiebreaker. Yeah, do they?
because
No.
Washington is 1-2 in their division because they beat the Eagles, and the Giants are 0-2 in their
Yeah,
division.
yeah, yeah. But the Giants still have one more game that still needs to be played. Remember, the Washington
Yeah.
still has a bye, so that
They're
all
on a bye
depends
this
on that
week.
too.
I
Yeah.
think Commanders
Okay,
are on a bye this week.
so yeah, so you still have the Giants that are gonna have this one game, and it's gonna come down to this game. If they end up losing this game, yeah, I would definitely say it doesn't hurt the Commanders. If they end up winning it, I would say it doesn't really
kinda
help
does
or
hurt.
hurt.
It
doesn't
kind of
help
hurts
or
the
hurt.
Commanders
It just it's like,
because then they would be one game back at that point.
yeah, that's true.
Well,
And
yeah, if
being
the
one
Giants
game
win.
back,
But yeah.
if the Giants and the Commanders are, if the Giants win and they're one game up, the Giants look good for that playoff push.
Yeah, but they have to
But
beat the Eagles. Do you think they're going to beat the
which
Eagles?
no, but I hope so.
All right. So we're
I
gonna
hope
get into
so.
this last topic because this last topic is gonna probably bring us pretty big here. So which five team? Which five teams? Let's take this across the board here. Which team can make the playoff run at a 5-man, a 5-win team right here? So pick a 5-win team, and then you guys go ahead and defend them, and we'll hear you guys' statements and see who has like the potential or best potential of making the playoffs. So whoever wants to start, just gonna go ahead and start it.
Webby?
So if I had to pick a team right now, I would say the Detroit Lions probably have the best chance out of everybody. Only because if you look at the remaining schedule, they have the Vikings, which is going to be a tough game. It's a divisional game. However, the Vikings arguably look pretty bad just because of how their defense allowed the Jets come back. And then they also have the Jets, Panthers, Bears, and then the Packers. So if they win all 5 of those games, it would be 10-7, and that would put them in a good place to make the playoffs, depending on how all the other teams do. So that would be my pick, because if you look at any other team, it's just not a really great chance. And yeah, the Lions are very underrated. They have a really good offense. I feel like their defense is also starting to come together. So
Yeah, I feel like this is a very tough discussion, honestly, because having a 5-win team make the playoffs right now would mean a heavy push on the win side. They would have to
Right.
make like 3 wins,
But
4
that's
wins,
what
and win
the-
out.
Yeah, that's what
Like
we're
in order to
talking
make the
about, yeah.
playoffs. So in order for a team to do that, and the best chance that I see it happening is with the Browns. And before you guys say anything, I know he didn't play up to standards, but they do have Deshaun Watson, man. I can't count Deshaun Watson out. We saw what he did with the Texans. Sure, they
Not
don't
this
have
past
enough
game, though.
talent, but listen, and Joku made that one-handed catch against us. He's a great player. He was out last week. So
Yeah, that's
let's
good
see.
note.
Let's see what
But
happens to
one
their
player
offense with
shouldn't
him
make that
in.
big of a swing. But yeah.
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, but no. So when I talk about one player, yeah, so Cooper Kupp does make a big argument there, but at the same
Where
time,
are they right now?
at the same time,
3-9.
yeah, but at the same time, like I said, you can't base it based on one player. Like Cooper Kupp also didn't do
I just did
everything. He did most of everything, but not everything. So, and if you're putting that much pressure on one person, especially
of course
like
they lost. They lost
attacker,
Odell Beckham, so yeah, that does suck. They lost 2 of their best receivers that they had, so
Yeah.
that does suck a lot. So that's why their team the way is where it's at, because those 2 left. But
I mean, to your point too, like I think that the Browns have a really good pass rush as well. So if, for say, that their defense gets their stuff together and then they can run the ball well with Chubb, I mean, yeah, they can definitely make a good playoff push for sure.
Nick Chubb right now looks amazing. Not these past 2 games, but has looked amazing this year. He's on 1,000-yard push in rushing yards. So he's a great running back. And if you have a great running back, you always have a chance. And we just added Deshaun Watson, so let's see what he can do. And Odell's still on the table, and maybe he wants to go back and play with his old teammate. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would shock the world.
Yeah, I think he ends up on the Cowboys, but he could take a chance to go to the Browns for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, well, I don't think he's ever visited them,
yeah,
but
that's a long shot. Because
I think anything
I
he goes
think that's the next visit, isn't it? I think that's his next visit.
No, he makes his decision this week.
It was.
Okay, so it was just the Cowboys and Giants.
It was, yeah.
Cowboys,
it was
Giants, and Bills.
And Bills, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, he's not going to the Bills.
Why
I don't
would
think
you?
he's going to the Bills.
I mean, why would you say that though? It could happen.
The best chance is that he goes to the Cowboys.
Yeah,
and especially with the Bills taking number 1, like he's guaranteed.
The Cowboys,
a bye if
literally,
they
the
keep
management
winning.
staff took him to the Mavs games courtside seats.
I will say this though: if you
The Mavs
Jerry
versus
Jones
Suns
came,
game.
well, let me say this real quick. Jerry Jones did come on a podcast and say that he's hesitant to sign OBJ because of his injury, and also because if he will be able to actually play the rest of play the rest of the season, because he was saying
That's wrong,
that
dude. It's OBJ, bro.
Right, but it is
Jerry Jones, if he destroys this, he's a monster, literally. Because if the Bills get OBJ, their chances to win the Super Bowl is like 95%,
because the Bills don't need him to play this year.
98%.
The rest
Yeah,
of this
it's
year,
just-
we don't need him to play. So he would be just ready for the playoffs. Like we would save him for the playoffs, and we'd be fine with that. So
It doesn't matter, Dominic. I know he tore his ACL, but he's done it twice.
right, that's what my
And
point is. Like he's not going to come back this season.
He came back and played for the Rams, and he did what he did over there, and they ended up winning that Super Bowl. So he's a good addition, even if it's just for those playoff moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said you need sometimes players like that for clutch moments. But
Yeah.
for my team, I have there was a team that was literally 2-7 not too long ago. 2-7. All of a sudden they have a 4-win streak. You know, there was talks about terrible coaching. There was talks about getting rid of Josh McDaniel and going with somebody else. But they've been stepping it up, and that team is no other than the Raiders right now. The Raiders right now have been been performing a lot better. Devontae Adams, these past 4 games, has just absolutely looked incredible. Absolutely incredible. And here's some stats for you guys. The game that they lost before they were hit this 4-win streak, he had 10 receptions for 146 yards and with 2 touchdowns. And then after that, he's been averaging no less than 11 points per game. In this past game, he averaged 22.1 yards per catch. So, like I said, and he also had 2 touchdowns. This guy has been an animal. He's been a beast. And then that's not even good about Josh Jacobs. Jacobs also been literally running over people and just been finding that end zone. He's just been going through this.
About your pick, dude, about these Raiders, man, I don't know. Their schedule is...
So, when you look at their schedule, here's their schedule, right? So, first game, this next game they have, they're going to the Rams. So, they're going to LA Rams. They haven't looked very good, so that's the team they don't have to worry about. Then they're versing the Patriots, but they're going to be versing them at home. Patriots look okay when it comes to defense, but where's the offense been doing? It's been slacking a lot. Hasn't been performing. Then you're going to go. Then you're going to go.
Losing, man.
Then you're going to go to Pittsburgh. Do you see Pittsburgh beating them? I don't see Pittsburgh beating them.
Find a way to lose, man.
Yep, but what happened? What happened this past year? I've already talked about that too. What happened this past year? This past year, the Raiders, they started really slow, and then all of a sudden they had an 8-win streak, and then made it into playoffs. Got that last wild card.
Their coach got replaced, and that took a hit on their team.
Yeah, well, they also had like 3 players arrested, so.
Yeah. It's funny you bringing that up. All right, so I mean, if we're looking at their schedule, really, like it's an easy schedule for the rest of the season.
At least
for
the first 4,
at least I don't really see them losing any. But the thing is, if they do lose any of them, let's say they lose against the Patriots or they lose against the Steelers before even getting to the 49ers, then what?
Right.
They're just out, you know.
Right,
like,
but you can also list your pick right now with the Browns. What's their schedule looking like, you know? Do they have a tough schedule, or is it pretty easy?
Just would rather take my chances with Deshaun Watson. It doesn't really matter about their schedule as much. I like Deshaun Watson, and I have faith that he's going to be a good quarterback with Njoku coming back.
Yeah, I get that. That makes sense. But
I don't know. I'm hesitant to take any AFC team right now because it's just it's rough and it's close. You don't have a lot of room for failure at that point. So
and Thursday night's game, by the way, is also going to be
all right. So listen to this:
the Rams.
So. They go against really good teams. Like first, right off the rip, week 14 going against the Bengals, week 15 going against the Ravens, week 16 the Saints, week 17 the Commanders.
No, there's no way. No, I'm sorry. There's no way in hell the Browns actually come back from that. There's no way. There's no way.
If they beat the Bengals, they're in a really nice spot.
If they beat the Bengals, but the Bengals just beat the Chiefs. You think they're gonna beat the Bengals?
It's a week-to-week league.
We'll see.
It is a week-to-week, but I don't see that. That would be a big upset in my mind. Like I would come in this podcast next week and literally preach about I'm sorry, I won't take shit no more because that's a mind boggler for sure.
Division game though. Division game.
Yeah, division game, but
can't say for sure.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Also, this upcoming week, so the big games that we're going to be looking out for, any big games in particular you guys are going to be looking out for this coming week, or you guys, think it's going to be not too crazy over this weekend? But
my eyes are on the Bills game for sure.
My eyes right now, this is for me. Tampa's going against the 49ers. This is going to be a true test to see how Tampa is going to end up doing and how they end up performing because they have to go through the 49ers if they want to make it a championship game.
The next game up, it will be the Dolphins and the Chargers because that's what I was going to say too. That's a lot of question marks right there. You don't know because those two teams, they can, really need this win. So, we'll see, but I think the BUCS, even if we lose this game coming up, we'll still be in first place. We'll be in an okay spot. But if we're talking about the biggest game, it'd probably be the Dolphins or the Chargers because this game really does matter for them.
Well, that game, and for me, it's the Bills game, not just as a Bills fan, but it's because you're like, well, if the Bills lose,
they're versing the Jets here.
If they want to hold the no,
hear me out bias over here.
Hear me out for a second.
Hear him out. Go ahead.
If the Bills want to hold the number 1 seed, they have to win and they have to beat the Jets because as soon as they lose and they give Miami a chance to take the division back, and then they're back to the 5th seed. So it's an important game for the Bills, and it really is because if they lose this game, not only are they losing in their division yet again, but they're losing the number 1 seed. So,
I don't know if the Jets can get it done there, man. It's just
their defense, though.
The Jets' defense is really good, but dude, you guys got Josh Allen, man. I don't think you guys lose that game.
Yeah, but
I think the Bills will still win the game.
The Jets have been playing pretty good
recently.
Lately. Yes, yeah, they've been playing
recently.
They've been playing good. I'll double check.
Most of their losses are recently.
Well, they did lose against Minnesota.
Think about but think about it. They only lost by 5 points, and it was a end of the game kind of thing. The same thing that happened to who, the Bills. So it happened to them as well. So they can't
if they lose against
about that because they both ended up losing against Vikings.
Against the Vikings in that offense, they're going to lose to the Bills in their offense. I just don't see them.
But the Bills also lost as well. That's what I'm saying. They had also ended up losing.
Yeah, that was definitely a different game, though. I'll have to say that was like Miracle City. Like it literally took the Bills fumbling in their own end zone. No, like literally, like they fumbled in their own end zone, giving them a touchdown, and then Justin Jefferson made like the most historical fucking catch. So I mean, like that's not gonna happen every week.
No,
but.
Hey, I mean, it happened to us with Tampa against the Browns with Njoku. Like, what's the chances of him actually picking that out of the air with one hand? That was pretty low. It had maybe
losses.
A
30-some%. Really matter how it happens, even if it's luck or a chance. It's
you're not wrong.
A loss, man. Like
yeah.
When we look at that team from a win-loss perspective, they are going to make the playoffs, but are they good enough to beat the Bills? I don't think they are.
Well, that's what I mean. It's significant for both teams because the Jets need to win to secure a playoff spot, and the Bills want to win to secure their number 1 seed.
Also, what are you guys thinking about this Vikings and Lions game? We were just talking about how, like, especially you, Webby, talking about the Lions and how they need to start winning and they have the potential. So it's going to come down to this game. If they don't end up pulling it off, I think their playoff chances are just go down to 0 at that point.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good opportunity to give.
How about the Cowboys getting to 10-3 after this week?
Yeah. Yeah, and then talking about their next contender,
Eagles
the
lose,
Houston Texans. Like,
if the
dude,
Eagles lose,
I'm getting tired of them literally
one game
versing these freaking weak ass teams. Like, I'm getting to the point where I'm just like, I want to see them versus a really good contender and see how they actually put up, because I understand those numbers this past week, but 2 of those touchdowns was by the defense, by the Cowboys defense. So they can't even say, oh, it was all Dak Prescott, because it wasn't.
Defense wins championships, man. That's all it
Yeah,
is.
and that's something also remember if you're an Eagles fan as well. You got the Cowboys trailing you guys, so you guys got to keep up that pace of winning. You guys can't even take a break. You know, you go with the
I think the
Cowboys
only
on your
L
guys'
comes
heels.
the
to Cowboys
Cowboys are in
fans.
that 5th seed spot, so
Right, and
you
they
know,
could, if they keep
they're
winning
2
out,
games
they
back
can.
right now. And
Yeah.
if the Eagles lose one, 11-2, and then the Cowboys easily are 10-3. So if all they got to do is win one more, and then that seed is threatened, and the Eagles can fall to number 5.
Yeah.
We've seen it happen before.
Now the
and-
Eagles would definitely have to lose 2 games. 2 of those 2 games.
Yeah, they would have to lose
of
2
those,
games,
5
but
games right now, because there's 5 games
Yeah.
still left.
Correct.
If I look at the schedule right now, they got the
Dominic, I know you're salty about my take, bro. You can just eat those
so
words.
this was the game I was talking about. They're gonna be versing the Giants, the Bears, and then they're going to the Cowboys. And this is gonna be prime time. This is gonna be the day before Christmas, actually. So this is Christmas Eve, 4:25. So this is gonna be the game of the day for sure for that one. And
Dominic, I'm not biased against the Eagles. They just haven't showed me they can do it.
Well, that's
Their
that's going to
schedule's
be the
super
thing.
easy.
If they
We'll see when they
beat
get
the
to the
shit
playoffs
out of the
what they're gonna do.
Cowboys, if they beat the shit out of the Cowboys, it'll show.
Yeah,
it will
yeah.
show.
No, if they do that, I'll give them props. If they beat the Cowboys, I will give them props.
Yeah.
but
Late in
yeah,
the season, if they beat the Cowboys,
But yeah,
we gotta get there though.
Do you guys have anything else left for our podcast? We have roughly like 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes. So if you guys have anything else you want to say, you guys say it now.
I'm just ready for the Miami
Yeah,
game.
Dominic, you beat the Cowboys without Dak Prescott.
What'd you say, Webby?
I said I'm ready for the Miami game because I want to see Tua get crushed
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Justin, you have anything on that, or you done
No,
talking?
I think the Dolphins have to bounce back. If they don't bounce back from this, they're over. They can miss the playoffs. There's still plenty of
Yeah.
games left where they can miss the playoffs. So,
Well, they have to
Um,
beat the Chargers and then they have to go against the Bills.
and their schedule is not easy.
Yeah.
Schedule's not easy. So I think if they win those games, man, they're looking really, really good. But if they lose those games, man, they might fall out of the playoffs.
yeah, it's there's no room for
But
failure.
if I had to talk about one team that has the most questionable like roster right now in the entire group in the playoff seeds for the AFC and the NFC, I would say for the NFC it'd be the 49ers. Big question mark over them. We're losing Jimmy G.
Yeah.
And then I would say a question mark over the Titans. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
Tannehill not doing
Well-
anything besides handing the ball to Henry. Henry's
Well,
taking
we're
over.
gonna-
Teams are
we're-
noticing that. What are they going to do?
Yeah,
We're gonna have to see after this next week. But hey, that's it for us, guys. We're about the hour marker, so I'm gonna have to cut it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoy the video, the stream and video. This will also be live on YouTube. You can catch it if you guys didn't watch all the podcasts. You can catch it at Sammy_NCR. But until next time, guys, this has been your boy Justin, Webby, and your boy Sammy. Take it easy, guys, and have a great night.
Deuces.